I have a very special guest. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, this is Kit McConnell. He's sports director of the IOC. We don't get IOC people at our races, so this is a blessing that you're with us. How did we get you here all the way in Oberhof?
Well, I think we try and get out and see all of the sports, and obviously Luge is a key part of the Olympic winter sport family. Oberhof is one of the most magical places in the luge circuit, and being the World Championships, it's great for us to be here. So we try and get out and see luge events every year, and not just in the Olympic Games. So no, it's great to be here. The atmosphere is fantastic. Meet some of the athletes, the national federations. So no, it's great to be here.
And remind me where you're from.
I grew up in New Zealand.
Are you based? Are you based there right now?
No, I live in Lausanne in Switzerland, where our headquarters is. So not too far away, but grew up in New Zealand, a long way away.
Because I was going to say, if you came from New Zealand, this is quite the flip in weather. So I apologize.
Right now, it's the middle of summer in New Zealand, so I'm getting photos from my family of barbecues and beaches. But it's beautiful here. I mean, it's absolutely a winter wonderland here. So no, great to be here. It's a great atmosphere.
I'm getting the same photos from my family and from my husband in California. It's just warm and nice. But I have grown to appreciate how beautiful it can be in the winter. I think as an athlete, when I was competing, you're just thinking about temperature, like ice temperatures and competition. But now that we just get to hang out, I'm like, wow, Oberhof is so beautiful. So tell me a little bit about your job with the IOC. How did you, is this the dream job? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting job to have, a dream in many ways. So in terms of the job, I look after the organisation of sport at the Olympic Games, obviously working with all of the international federations. The organising committees deal with all of the international federations. So no, it's a super exciting job, and at the end of the day, the games are about the athletes, they are about sport, so to be able to help be involved in that side of things is really exciting.
Yeah, the Olympic movement is a palpable thing, I feel. I know for me, when I was competing, it's the things that you do with the dream of the Olympics. It's pretty crazy to see what you're capable of. So it's cool to talk to people that are kind of behind the scenes that make the dream happen. So thank you for your service, I guess I should say. I guess that's what I feel like. I'm like, thank you for your service in making dreams happen for a lot of athletes. And did you always want to work for the IOC?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been involved in sport, but I think the thanks goes the other way. I mean, for me, the Olympic Games is about two things. Firstly, it's about the athletes. You know, we have 10,500 athletes at the Summer Games, about 3,000 at the Winter Games. For most of these athletes, they have one Olympic Games. In summer, it's about 70% of the athletes only ever go to one Olympic Games. In winter, a little bit less, but most still only go to one Olympic Games. So we have to make that game special. It's the world's greatest sporting stage. It's an incredible experience for the athletes being part of a national team with all of the other sports as well. You've been there, you know. So for us, this is really the focus. And equally, we understand the importance. We saw that in Tokyo. We saw that in Beijing with everything going on with COVID, everything going on in the world, how important those games were to the athletes, to the world, to be able to come together and focus on something special. So that's our focus. It's not about us, it's about the athletes and about making the games happen.
You know, something funny that just came, I have a question for you, but I want to add this really quick. I competed in Sochi. It was my first and only games, and it was the biggest deal of my life. So it's funny when you say, when you go to one games, it's really special for every athlete. And there were more senior athletes that were like, oh, is this your first games? And I was like, well, you think I just go to 3 casually in my spare time? Because they go, sometimes when you're in the sport, you go easily because you're a veteran. But I just remember that thinking I had stepped into this world of the Olympics, and they're like, oh, is this your first? And I was like, yeah, this is my first and maybe my only. And this is so. It reminded me of that. But I want to ask you really quick, is there any behind the scenes, any sports that are coming up, new sports that are going to be added to the schedule that you could talk about that are kind of in the chute that to come to the games?
Yeah, I think we've really had a focus on strengthening the core. In both summer and winter, we have a really strong tradition, and that's the balance we have between tradition and innovation. You have seen in Tokyo, we had skateboarding, surfing, sport climbing, BMX freestyle, 3-on-3 basketball. In Paris, we'll have breakdancing for the first time. In winter, in Milano Cortina, and in just 3 years from now, we'll have ski mountaineering for the first time. And of course, in Luge, we've got women's doubles. So it's fantastic to see that on the track here this morning. And this opportunity for the female athletes to have another medal event. And this also is really important. Bringing it into the Olympic program, we see the development of that event, of luge outside the games. Already speaking to some of the coaches and national federations here, we hear about the women's side of luge growing, continuing to grow, and that additional medal now having full equality on the program with the number of medals available for both the men and women is really important. We see the impact of it, and it's only fair. Gender equality is something that's really important to us, so to have that event as well is really important to us in the luge program.
Yeah, I can say from hearing from the athlete side, just how cool it is to know that there's an equal opportunity for women, and also doubles. I did doubles one time, and it was it was a mistake and so scary. It was so scary, and I got very
no comeback for Milano Cortina then.
Definitely no comeback. I've hung up my suit and everything. But when we did it in our nationals competition in America, and we just wanted to see if we could beat the boys. Like,
did you?
I did it. We did actually.
There you go.
Thank you. Yes, we got on a sled. Our coaches weren't too happy about it because they thought that we were making a joke out of doubles, but we wanted to get on a sled to see if we could be as fast. And so now it's kind of come full circle to see it in a world championship series. So anyways, I feel the same way. So it's been really cool to kind of see women. But I know you have things to do, but I want to ask you a few more things. So I looked him up because you always got to look up who you're going to talk to. And he's a major 49ers fan. So the playoffs, we need to talk about this for a second. I know this is a luge crowd, but for anyone watching American football, it's playoffs right now, and the 49ers are in it.
Deep into playoffs.
Yeah, we're deep into playoffs. We're one round away from the Super Bowl. And Brock Purdy, I'm going to educate all of they need to know about American football. Everyone needs to know about American football. Yes, about the 49ers. Brock Purdy is the current quarterback, and he was the backup of the backup and wasn't ever supposed to play, but now he's leading.
Third round draft, yeah.
He's leading the team, hopefully, into. Can you just.
One match away from a Super Bowl.
Give me your full feelings on what's going on.
Well, the 49ers and I should say me and the 49ers go back a long way. I was on holiday in the States in 86, 87 when the 49ers were on a Super Bowl run that ended up when they beat the
Steve McMahon?
No, Joe Montana.
This is Joe Montana. Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm older than. So since then, I've followed them, and obviously ups and downs like any team. But this year has been absolutely incredible, with Jimmy Garoppolo coming out. He was behind Trey Lance, so suddenly you've got a guy that not many people have heard of stepping up to quarterback, and now they're in the divisional game. So the championship game tomorrow night, and as we say, one step away from a Super Bowl maybe. So it's just incredible. But that's sport, huh? That's what makes us watch every year. That's the emotional ride up and down. So no, it's fantastic. So tomorrow night, here we go.
Yeah, what time is it in Europe? Like, when is it in the middle of the night, the game?
It's around midnight our time. So it'll be a late night, full day of work the next day. So
you're committed.
I'm committed. Yeah. I'm emotionally engaged in that one. Yeah.
Well, it's a big one. When Brock Purdy got put on the field, you could see his family in the stands, and it was emotional. And he was, anyways, I just fall.
Unbeaten since then. So yeah.
It's a Cinderella story. I love it. Anyways, I know you guys were waiting to hear about American football. We could probably talk a long time about this. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us.
No. It's great to be here. Honestly, you can see the atmosphere. You can see the athletes, how much this means to them, and obviously being a world championship. Great to see the medals yesterday, and 2 more medals on the line today. So no, it's great to be here.
Would you ever jump on a sled?
Absolutely.
You would?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, well, I think
obviously a pretty low start on the track. We'd have to be clear about that, but no, it's always good to experience the different sports, huh? So
I think we could.
If that was a challenge or not, but no.
We could pull some strings. The luge gods that are watching, we could get you on a sled.
I'm committed on camera now, so that's a dangerous thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, well, if we get it together, we're going to get that on film, and we'll give you all the tips. You'll do great. Okay, you'll be fine.
But delayed coverage, just in case things don't go so well.
Very delayed and edited, so you'll be fine. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Kit McConnell from the IOC. We're going to take a little break, but we'll be back in just a second.